Welcome to today's episode. California knows how to party. Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. Hey, look, it's the reason why I'm singing that song, all right? Check this out. Today's episode, it is one of my good friends, Janine Lattimore. Janine is the editor-in-chief of the Classy Living Society publication. She's going to come on and talk to us about a recent trip that she took to Santa Barbara, where she spent like 4.5 days in the Cali sun, fun, and video. So let's bring Janine on so she can tell us about her experiences in Santa Barbara. Welcome to the Layover, Janine.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking time out your busy day to come on and hang out.
No problem. I wasn't doing anything, It's a pleasure to be on with you.
Well, I don't think any of us are doing anything right now.
Well, I was going to say that, but, I'm sure that, maybe when long years from now, when someone's listening to this podcast, then they'll be like, well, what were they talking about?
Exactly.
Because
So
this will all be forgotten years from
now.
now.
Right. So let me bring it back in. All right. So before we get started, why don't you tell all the listeners who you are and how they can reach you, like your social media platforms and all of that good stuff like that.
I'm Janine Lattimore, and I wear many hats. By day, I'm a legal assistant for a corporate law firm, and I'm also a member and the editor-in-chief of Classy Living Society, which I'll go into what that is in a few moments. And I also have a personal blog, New York Red, and my social media is at New York Red, the blog, on both Facebook and Instagram. And my blog is actually on the platform that Classic Living Society has. As their editor, I also have my personal blog on their website.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to make sure I give you time at the end of the show just so you can drop that on everybody again, all right?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, indeed. Now, it was one of the things that you mentioned that stuck out with me, and I want to make sure I get it out to the listeners. You are actually the editor-in-chief for the Classy Living Society publication. So tell us a little bit really quick about the Classy Living Society and their mission.
Well, Classy Living Society is a national women's community service organization. We're a member-based organization, and we consider ourselves to have an innovative approach to volunteering. Our focus is to volunteer, socialize, and inspire. We partner with nonprofits and other organizations to provide them with the resources they may not otherwise have on their own, such as volunteers or fundraising and that sort of thing. But we also have some very over-the-top, fabulous, fantastic events.
Okay.
And we have had also a couple of trips through our CLS travels. And CLS, of course, is short for Classy Living Society.
Gotcha. Okay. And then speaking of travels, that's the reason why we got you on here, because you guys took a trip out to Santa Barbara. And, I got to hear everything about Santa Barbara, because that's one of the places that I've been several times. And I really like it. It's that Cali sun, man, that California love, everybody loves it. So, oh, indeed.
Absolutely.
So was this your first time in Santa Barbara?
This was not only my first time in Santa Barbara, my first time on the West Coast and the first time in California.
Look at you.
I know, right? I just broke all kinds of barriers.
Right.
For myself.
You have to do it. Got you some packed coats, like first time. I love it. So check this out. Since this was your first time, right? What did you like about Santa Barbara? Tell me a little bit about Santa Barbara and what you like.
I really did. I like California. I liked the vibe in California, and it was just so beautiful. And to me, it was kind of like, what was awe-inspiring to me was that I felt like I was standing in the middle of, on one side, I could see these like majestic mountains. And then on the other side was like the beautiful ocean, so it was kind of like standing in the middle, and just like everywhere you turn, there's all this natural,
Mm-hmm.
things that were just, I just couldn't stop staring because
Oh,
I
trust me, I
wasn't
know.
used to that. I wasn't used to that. So I just, that was the part I thought that I liked the best. And then, just the vibe and the whole energy of Santa Barbara was great. And while we were kind of doing our thing in Santa Barbara, we became local celebrities that weekend, or
Really
those
now.
few days
Okay.
we were there, because everybody were like, "Were you the ladies that were doing this and that and everything?" We were like, "Yeah, like, well, who are you?" And so everywhere we went, people had questions about who we were, because it was 33 of us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, but
Well,
that's
I
what
bet that was
I think
special.
I liked. It was very special.
Yeah, yeah. Your
Very
first time
special.
out there and you treated like a celeb. I know that was special.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Right, right. But the part that I like, so I'm like part nature guy too. So when you start talking about the mountains on one side, then you got like the blue ocean on the other side. See, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for that because I
Yeah.
love all of that nature. You dig?
Yeah, well, the Santa Barbara is known as the American Riviera. Did you know that? I did a little
I did not
research
know
before I
that.
went. It's
Really?
known as the American Riviera because of its similarity to the French Riviera. Because in the French Riviera is where the people have an enthusiasm for the beach, for boating and wine and all beautiful things, and
Right.
so that's what Santa Barbara is for us here in America, because they all of those things are factors that fall within um, Santa Barbara.
Okay, cool. So, it's this one particular place in Santa Barbara that I've heard about. You got to tell me about it because I know you went, and it's called, so it's a spot where you have like a lot of stuff going on, like shops and all of that. And they call it the Funk Zone. Are you familiar with that? Or did you guys
Yeah,
go there?
yeah. We actually had when we arrived on day one, we actually had our welcome reception at one of the wine tasting rooms over there, called the Riverbench, and it's female owned tasting room, and we just
Okay.
had our little reception there. Tasted wine and had few little hors d'oeuvres, and just kind of greeted one another, and received our welcome gift. We had got a little nice little tote bag, and the itinerary for the trip, and took pictures and rubbed elbows and that sort of thing with the other ladies, because um, some of the ladies were from someplace else. Like, majority of the women were from Atlanta,
Okay.
but there were some from somewhere else too. And so we just, and then afterwards, we kind of toured around a little bit in the area, and we went to a restaurant, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, that was right near Riverbench, but that's kind of how we ended the night. And then we ended up leaving there, and by that time, it was nighttime, so it was kind of chilly, but we went out on the beach, and it
Right.
was freezing, but we were out there trying to take pictures, because it was our first night there. And it was
Right.
still beautiful out there because the moon was shining on the water and stuff, but
Hmm.
it was so cold. And,
Right.
most of us didn't have jackets. So,
Oh yeah, I understand. I understand. Cali has that weather that tricks you. It's like warm during the day, and then in the
warm,
evening it straight
yeah,
cools off.
yes. It's like, you have to have a jacket, because
Oh, trust
it
me, I
gets to
know.
be that kind of chilly,
Yeah.
nighttime, and windy.
So you said the name of that spot was called the Riverbench Tasting Room, right?
Yeah, the Riverbench tasting room. And it
Okay,
was
and it's
like,
female owned.
it's female owned, and it was just a little little wine tasting lounge, nice little cozy wine tasting lounge. That was, really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I like that. The
Yeah,
Riverbench. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to put that on my list for when I go out to Santa Barbara.
absolutely,
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
Yeah, the Riverbench. So, because this was your first time out there, and then you said it was like 33 of you all. Now it's
Yes.
Cali, right? So
Yes.
one of the things that everybody has to do when they go to Cali is go to a winery or a vineyard.
Yes.
So did you guys do any of that?
We did. Let's see. We went there. We went to the vineyard um, the on day 3. We got up in the morning and we got on a charter bus and went to Santa Ynez.
Oh, look at you.
And
Y'all fancy charter bus.
yes, that's how we went. That's how we rolled. And
Right,
so we
right.
got on a charter bus and rolled up to Santa Ynez to the Sunstone Vineyards and Winery.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was very a very scenic ride though. It wasn't just okay, get on the bus and just roll to the winery. It was very scenic with all the mountains and that sort of thing. So it was a lot to see and a lot to take, pictures of while we were on the bus. So and then we got to the winery, and it was a nice, quaint little place. But we had lunch there on picnic tables. But
Mm-hmm.
some of the ladies arrived ahead that planned everything and laid out these beautiful, colorful blankets and pillows for us to kind of lounge around on the grass. And by that time, the sun was good and out, so we
Right, right.
laying back sipping rosé. It was like a featured rosé, a Grenache rosé from Sunstone, and we were
Mm-hmm.
kind of laying back sipping on the rosé. So it was a great
So I bet y'all were
afternoon.
nice and lit.
We were well, yes. By the time we left, we were pretty roséed up, and
Right, right, right.
but
Pretty ganache rosé up.
yes, but we were pretty. It was nice, We kind of walked around and we took photographs and that sort of thing. But it was a great time. We went inside the winery itself, the building, and like looked at some of the wines and such. But most of it, we kind of stayed outside. And
I
then
got you. I got
when we got back on the bus, we rode over to like another part of Santa Ynez where there are more wineries and tasting rooms and such. So we got off the bus and everybody kind of went in different directions and just kind of went to the different tasting rooms and the little small wineries. Which,
you. Okay.
one of the things too is for me was when someone says winery to me, I think about a vineyard. Like it's just, you drive up and there's rolling hills and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly. The rows and
wineries,
rows of the vines and all of that good stuff like
yeah.
that.
But other, wineries are actually also like little small lounges where you could just go in. It's like a bar, but they're, it's called the winery. But I didn't know that distinction. I didn't know that wineries are also just, buildings that you like a lounge type or a bar that you
So
can
I
go and
guess
taste
I guess
wine.
that's the difference of a winery versus a vineyard. Because, I'm used to, like, I was in South Africa one year in Cape Town, and I went out to some wineries and vineyards, and sort of like you said, but every place we went to, they had like the building where you go in, you could actually eat, you had a bar, you could sit and chill and all that. But then you go out back and they had like rows and rows and rows of like vines, like Merlot over here, Shiraz over here, stuff like that. And it was kind of cool to see that,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how they grow the actual vines and all of that stuff, and have people out there picking the grapes and all of that good stuff
Right.
like that. And then in Spain, I went to a Freshenex winery, and that was like an awesome experience, but that's a whole nother show right now, though. Right now, we're talking about Santa Barbara. Right,
Right.
right. Yeah. So I'm
But
glad you guys got that out the way. So,
yeah.
it's Cali, it's beautiful. You're talking about the moon on the water and all of that stuff like that. I know you guys hit the sand at one point in time.
Well, yes. One of the highlights, and I think the one event that we did that made us the local celebrities was we had an all white dinner on the beach,
There it
and
is. Yeah.
yeah, so we had tables with white tablecloths, and we were all dressed in white, and the sun was setting, so it was kind of like we were out there when the sun was out, but then the sun began to set, and we had a
Mm-hmm.
lady was out there playing island music on a steel drum. And, we had some really delicious food. We had, I think it was like seafood paella, macaroni and cheese. We had some sea bass, um, grilled vegetables. And then we also had desserts. We had cream brulee on little spoons, and caramel brownies.
Right.
And
The little sandwiches that you pick up with your fingers too,
oh gosh, well, actually no, we had like a whole the dinner. We had like a plate of food, like real
A plate of
food.
food.
Yeah,
Right. Had the
and
little teacups that you pick up with your pinky in the
yeah,
air too,
we no, and then of course we had our libations, our own. We were to bring our own libations, so they had some wine, but of course some of us had our Tito's and our
Oh,
whatever
indeed.
tequila,
Oh,
whatever that we were having out there. And the tables, like I said, they were adorned with white tablecloths, but they also had like a nautical decor. I mean, I can't
gotcha.
even describe it. It was just breathtaking when you walked up, and so it's like people in the town, I guess, saw us in Santa Barbara, were driving by and saw us on the beach, and that's when everybody was like, "Were you the ladies that were out on the beach?" Because a lot of people thought we were having a wedding, but
Oh, okay. I got you.
but
Yeah, I could see that. All white on the beach. Yes.
yeah. So that was
Okay.
really a memorable occasion, something I'll never forget.
Okay, cool. That's what traveling is supposed to be about. Going places, because of the destination and then doing things while you're there.
Hmm.
Because, I heard something a while ago. It's like we don't always remember dates and times, but we remember moments in life,
That's
and
right.
that's one of those moments that you'll always remember.
That's right. Plus, the other beach experience I had was I had a massage on the beach one
Oh,
evening.
nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a little cold, so it wasn't as nice as probably wasn't as nice as it could have been.
Hmm.
Because whatever, I mean, they had like blankets on us, but whatever, area they were massaging, like my leg was out. So like they were massaging my leg, but it was cold. So it's kind of like,
Right.
okay, I'm cold, but enjoying the massage, but it was
I
just kind
got
of
you. I
cold.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, see, y'all too bougie for me. Massages on the beach, teacups with your pinkies up, little finger sandwiches all in white. I get it. Now I see how y'all roll it over at the Classy Living Society. I get it.
Yes, that's what it's called, the
So
Classy Living Society.
I see. I see. The name fits. So would you ever go back to Santa Barbara?
I would go back. I would go back, and I would want to experience the beach a little bit more in the daytime.
Hmm.
And maybe kind of cruise around at some of the restaurants a little more, and
Yeah.
some of the tasting rooms that were there. And I did get a chance to go kind of stroll down through their little shopping area, and people watched and shopped a little bit in some of the little shops, and looked at some of the, of course, again, the scenery is beautiful, but some of the little knick-knacky things that are on the street, like little statues, or and they had like a streetcar type thing that was going down the center of the street. Well, actually not the center of the street, but more like a bus, but it's kind of set up like a streetcar kind of
Right.
thing.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
All right. So check this out. I got one last question for you. Do you have any advice for a first time traveler going to Santa Barbara?
I think if you've never been to California and you're from the East Coast like me, you'll be kind of like, okay, well, when is the sun going to come out? Because every day the sun came out at like 11 o'clock.
Right.
And of course, you're in a different time zone from where you live. So everything is kind of thrown off as it is. But the sun doesn't come out, but then it's a little cool in the morning until the sun does come out. And then when the sun comes out, it's warm, it's hot, and you're like, you get the full feeling of the sun in California. But until
Gotcha.
that time, it's kind of like overcast and a little cool. So you're not really, I wasn't really into that part. Um, let's see what else. I don't know. I think I would just tell. I would. Oh, definitely have. They would definitely have to go down to the pier, and it's
Right.
really beautiful down at the pier. And
Yeah, especially since it's the American Riviera, as you said.
yeah, the pier is really beautiful, and with all the boats. Speaking of boats, we got on. We did a private charter as well. We did an all yellow. This time it's all yellow, and we got on a private charter, the Azure Seas, and kind of
Okay.
cruised around, and that was really nice too. So
Okay, cool. Well, Janine, I got to tell you, it was such a treat you coming on to the layover and just, kind of sharing your trip to Santa Barbara and telling us, about the highs and all of that good stuff
yeah,
like that. And I can't say lows because I didn't hear anything low. Everything
no,
was high,
there were no lows. it was.
But I
I kind of
appreciate
look
that.
at. I kind of almost look at the trip as there was a before I went to Santa Barbara, and then there was an after I went to Santa Barbara. It was like it was kind of a vacation that I needed, a refresher to see something
Right.
different and do something totally different.
I got you.
So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. And again, I'm thankful that you were able to come on and spend a few minutes with us here on the layover and talk about your experience in Santa Barbara. So before we get out of here, I said I'd give you some time. So do me a favor and go ahead and just drop all of your information again. I know we said it at the top of the show, but go ahead and give it to all of our listeners again, how they can get in touch with you.
Well, okay, so my blog is actually on the Classy Living Society website, and right now we're working on improving our platform, our blog platform. But it is cls-volunteer.org is the website that it's on. And then my blog, I am on social media, is Instagram and Facebook, is at New York Red the blog. And I'm not on Twitter, but just Facebook and Instagram. So,
Woman, you better get you a Twitter.
you know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I have this block to Twitter. I get on there and it just looks like a big jumble to me.
Nah, I know what you mean. It is kind of cumbersome when you first get on it, but after you learn, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, well, maybe
But
you can teach
again,
me one day or something, because I
yeah. I
can't
help you.
quite get it.
Yeah, I help you out. Right now, I just hang out with you over there on IG at New York Red the blog.
That's right, New York Red the blog. Everybody come check me out over there.
All right, Janine, I appreciate it again. And again, thanks for coming over to the layover and telling us all about Santa Barbara.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay.
Bye.
I want to thank Janine for coming onto the Layover Show and telling us about her trip to Santa Barbara, aka the American French Riviera, something I never knew. I love how she gave us the real in terms of things to do while in town. The beach is definitely something you want to do, and don't forget to check out the place that she talked about with all the shops and the stores called the Funk Zone. Now, everybody might not take a trip with 33 ladies such as she did with her group Classy Living Society, to whom she's the editor-in-chief, but I'm sure you can have a great time solo or with friends. As usual, if you like what you've heard, please check out more episodes on my website, www.thetraveljunkie.com, and there you'll have access to more content, blogs, videos, and even some planned group trips that I have coming up in the future. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Layover Podcast so you never miss an episode. This podcast was produced by me, the Travel Junkie, and as usual, my mission here is to connect travelers from all over the globe, whether you're a seasoned traveler, solo traveler, or novice looking for insight and information. Thanks for listening to The Layover.